have to consider a lot of things when it comes to our afro hair, specifically because afro hair is known for drying out. The thing that protein and rice water does to the hair is it elongates your strands. What's popping, my lily pops? Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. If you're watching this, it's probably too late. Just kidding, it's not too late, but you're probably using rice water, and if you are, I just want to give you a few things to caution you. And if you're thinking about using rice water for hair growth, then you definitely should watch this. My lily pops, let's pop off. Just in case you guys don't know, I typically share inexpensive DIYs on my channel. I love using natural ingredients on my hair. It has really helped my hair to grow over time. And every now and then I decided that I want to integrate these more kumbaya moments into my content. In the last video that is respective to this series, I talked about both the benefits and harmful effects of aloe vera. So today we're talking about rice water. Why did I choose rice water? Because rice water is known to not only make your hair grow, but to make it grow expeditiously. Just in case you don't know, on average, research has proven that the hair can grow up to ½ an inch a month, and that is if your hair is in a healthy state. And if your hair even grows quicker than that, you can see more than ½ an inch a month. Through the use of rice water, though, a lot of people have experienced extreme hair growth in just a few weeks. I've seen a lot of things. My hair grew 3 inches in a month and things like that. So when you're thinking about ½ an inch, rice water, 3 inches, I definitely see how it can be appealing to definitely want to give rice water a try. When I first saw that rice water was really coming on the scene, especially within the natural hair community, I initially had an inclination that rice water probably originated in Asian culture. It's so funny, but I thought about it because in growing up, a lot of cartoons that I would watch and just a lot of imagery that I saw in the media, I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but a lot of the time, if you would see depictions of Asian women doing things with their hair, they were dipping their hair into something that seemed like a tub. Sometimes it would have like flower petals in it and bringing it up. So when rice water started to really become prominent in discussions, the look of rice water and the look of what I was seeing in cartoons and stuff, it started to link up for me immediately in my head. So I was like, I can almost guarantee that this came from Asia. So in doing my research, I was able to confirm that specifically for China and Japan, there is a tribe in China that is actually known as the Rapunzel tribe, if I'm not mistaken. These women were known for having extremely long hair, and when people inquired, they found out that they were using rice water on their hair. The use of rice water is also prominent in different cities in Japan as well. So that's just the background in case you're one of those type of people. When you think about Asian hair and you think about type 4, Afrocentric hair, Afro hair, however you like to classify black hair, two different things. And it's not really more so about the, I guess, like texture for me. Although that texture is something that we definitely have to consider when we're thinking about rice water. But in my everyday life, I'm not really caught up on textures. But as it relates to rice water, we have to consider a lot of things when it comes to our afro hair, specifically because afro hair is known for drying out. Just in case you've always wondered, why does it always seem like you have to go the extra mile to make sure that your hair is moisturized? Why do you have to take so many steps to figure out what's actually going to moisturize it and then what's going to retain the moisture? It is because afro hair typically kinks, and with kinky hair, it takes our strands a harder time to have our natural oils flow down the full length of the hair strand. So a lot of the time the roots are actually well moisturized, but then when you get to the full length of the hair strand, people notice the drying towards mid shaft and the ends of our hair. So when you think about rice water, what does our hair naturally being dry and rice water have to do with each other? That is because rice water is literally water that has starch in it. Just in case you guys don't know, I'm West Indian. My family is from the island of Dominica, whether you want to consider it Caribbean people, West Indian. West Indian is the proper term, so that's the terminology that I'm going to use. I'm West Indian, and so especially in different cultures, I'm sure too, one of the most prominent things that we care about when preparing rice is to make sure that you have removed as much starch from the rice itself that you possibly can, and you ditch that starch water. Starch is very harmful even when you think about the body. So when you think about applying it to hair, it actually has a drying effect for the hair. And because we already struggle with dry hair, applying something that is actually drying to hair is something that is very risky to be doing. I know that there are a lot of other things that we incorporate into our hair regimen that is also quote unquote drying to hair, such as protein conditioners and protein treatments. And that's why we always make sure to follow up with balancing moisture in the form of a deep conditioner or a hydration treatment. And yes, that can be done for rice water, but the level at which people are using rice water is where it's very alarming for me. A lot of people are incorporating it into their weekly hair routine. Some people are even washing their hair twice a week because of the way that it's been advertised that rice water really grows your hair fairly quickly. And so when you think about if you were to apply rice water that quickly, I just want you to sit back and think, would you ever put a protein treatment on your hair twice a week? I'll wait. Would you ever put a protein treatment on your hair twice a week? I would not. You would not. You should not. If you've been following what I've been saying on this channel, you would not put a protein treatment on your hair twice a week. So why would you put rice water on your hair twice a week or even once a week? That is just not something that's healthy for the hair. Also, when it comes to the claims about people seeing inches of growth in record time, there's even some videos that I've seen that like my hair grew in 2 weeks and things of that nature. This is what I want to bring to the forefront. One of the prime effects that protein, and in this case, when I'm saying protein, I'm referring to the starch from the rice water because it has the same effect on the hair. One of the things that protein and rice water does to the hair is it elongates your strands. And so a lot of the time, some of the struggles that I hear from people is that I really deal with bad shrinkage. We know that type 4 hair has an extreme level of shrinkage to it, but there are some people that the shrinkage is really bad for them. Like there is a significant reduction in the actual length of their hair in comparison to how their hair sits in its natural state. People wanting to elongate their hair is not a concept that is new within the natural hair community. The shrinkage is way too much for some people, and that's okay because you have to be comfortable with your hair. With that being said, when you apply the rice water and you notice that your hair is longer, it is because your hair strands are elongated. When your hair is not kinking and coiling and retracting up to your scalp and it is actually elongated downwards, it's going to appear that your hair is longer. So just in case you guys don't know this, the longer you leave something in water or you just leave something paired together, the higher the potency is. So just to bring a more realistic example, imagine you're making yourself a cup of tea. You put the boiling water into a mug and then you put the tea bag into the cup. If I left the tea bag in for 5 minutes, let's say it's green tea, I'll taste the green tea and trust me, it'll definitely be there. I'll have some of the benefits of the green tea, but I'm not getting the most out of it. Now, if I let the tea bag seep in the boiling water for 15 or 20 minutes, the taste of the green tea is way stronger. It's way more potent because the two things have infused with one another for longer. So just in case you don't know, when it comes to preparing rice water, what a lot of people are doing is, cooking the rice, taking the water and the rice and actually putting it into a container and letting it sit there for longer to actually pull all of the starch from the rice. So you're not just applying, oh, it just boiled, let me just put this starch water on my hair. You're literally taking it up a notch at this point, and the potency of the starch is extremely high. I'm only bringing this forward because, of course, if the potency of the starch is extremely high in the water, when you think about, oh, okay, I'll just follow up with a conditioner, a traditional conditioner may not be enough to replenish the moisture into your hair. Or even when you think about a deep conditioner as well, it may not be enough to properly and fully rebalance that moisture into your hair. I'll use the example of flat ironing your hair. If you apply a lot of heat to your hair, like you're really going ham, you're doing all of this stuff. If you went to go wash your hair with a moisturizing shampoo or a replenishing shampoo, there would only be so much that shampoo could do to re-moisturize your hair and quote unquote bring back your natural hair texture. If you applied a crazy amount of heat to it, there's only so much repairing that can be done to the hair. We know that hair strands are extremely fragile, hence the breakage issue that a lot of us have, the heat damage issue that a lot of us have. Just, you can't even put your hair into a certain hairstyle that's too tight without edges and things breaking off. Our hair is extremely delicate. This is hair in general, no matter the race or ethnicity, but when it comes to type 4 hair, our hair is extremely delicate, especially because our kinks and coils are prone to tangling. Of course, I'm never gonna leave you hanging and just dropping all of this information on you that you really need to know. I'll let you know what you should do instead. Instead of using rice water, consider just using a protein treatment. There are ample protein treatments that are on the market. There are a lot of protein treatments that you can make at home. I have a few on my channel as well. If you want to check it out, I'll link them down below. One of the more prominent ingredients that people make in at-home protein treatments is avocado. Some people elect to add egg to it. Some people put mayo in it. A lot of people just use the avocado and may put coconut milk in it as well, because coconut also serves as a protein for our hair. So there are a lot of other things that you can do to give your hair that protein if the elongating look is what you're going for. Also, when it comes to styling, there are a lot of brands that have elongating gels, and it's definitely marketed that way, and it's to stretch the hair out. There are other brands that have elongating twisting creams. Melanin Hair Care is one of those brands that has those things. There's other ways to stretch out your hair. There are banding methods. One thing that I always want to make clear is that when it comes to fast hair growth, it just means, when I use it, fast in the sense that if you do these things consistently, you are going to see results a lot quicker than what you were doing in the past when you weren't using best practices. I'm never advertising, and I will hope that my fellow content creators out there are never trying to advertise that if you were to do X thing on your hair this week, by the next week your hair is going to be long. No, just in case I've never officially mentioned it here, this is one of the mantras that I really go by. Growing your hair and having healthy hair is literally 40% product and 60% regimen. When I say regimen, I'm talking about consistency, the way that you manipulate your hair as well. The products are good and all of that stuff, but even if you're putting the most nutritious products onto your hair, but you're not doing it on a regular schedule, and the way that you handle your hair when styling is extremely rough, you're never going to see that hair growth. Hair strands are like a mirror. It's extremely hard to break, and it's hard as hell to piece that thing together. Don't put yourself in that position. My lily pops, let's pop off.